And good evening, everyone. I believe the closed session is still going on right now, so they're running a little bit long. So we will be a little bit delayed in our start this evening, although we'll keep you posted once we are ready to go. Good evening. Once again, for those who've joined us recently, the Special Administrative Board is still in closed session, it's running a little bit longer than usual, so we'll be delayed a little bit, but thank you for your patience. And once they're out of executive session, then we'll begin the open session of the meeting.
Hello.
Good evening, everyone, and we'd like to apologize for getting a late start. I'm going to call the meeting to order. May I have a roll call, Volshay?
Yes, Dr. May,
Present.
Ms. Oswald,
Present.
Mr. Jones,
Here.
Dr. Beckwith,
Present.
and Ms. Marville.
Present. May I get an approval of the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Second, is there a question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We will now go to Riverview Excellence.
All right, and good evening, Special Administrative Board, Superintendent Dr. Pruitt Adams, colleagues and community. The Riverview Excellence, we're going to be honoring 4 scholars at Riverview Gardens High School. And there's a little bit of a change. So number 1 is Precious Berry, 2 Zenobia Cayetano, Cheyenne Hoskins, and Mikhail Sykes. Now for Miss Berry, she will be participating in the Missouri First District's Youth Speak-In. Now the time and date that is listed here on Riverview Excellence has changed due to the incoming inclement weather. They have decided to postpone that event, but Precious still will be participating in that event. So once we get the updated time and date information, we will share that with you. But we're definitely proud of Precious. She'll be joining that speak-in. It's hosted by Congresswoman Cori Bush, and they'll be talking about issues such as gun violence, being unhoused, and learning during the pandemic. And so we just definitely want to honor her for all the great things that she's doing and look forward to that event once it comes to fruition. For the other members, Zenobia Cayetano, Mikhail Sykes, and Cheyenne Hoskins, they have all qualified for the DECA state qualifier. And so they have been 2nd and 3rd place finishers for DECA, and they will be going to compete in the DECA state championship coming up in March. And so we just want to give them praise as well and look forward to them going to the state championship.
behalf of the board, I want to congratulate all of the students for their achievements. We wish you well in the qualifier, state qualifier. And Ms. Berry, congratulations. We look forward to hearing about your business completed. Are there any announcements at this time? Well, I have an announcement. I would like to congratulate Board Member Reggie Jones for.
Real, can you unmute? I'm sorry to interrupt.
Thank you. I'd like to congratulate Board Member Reggie Jones. He received a certificate of achievement from the Missouri School Board Association for satisfactorily completing his refresher training. Well, congratulations, Reggie Jones. Ms. Fields, do we have any patrons that would like to make comments tonight?
No, ma'am, we do.
Thank you. At this time, we will move to item 6, which is reports of superintendent's report.
Everyone, I too want to congratulate Dr. Jones. I also want to, can you hear me? If you can hear me. I also want to congratulate Precious Berry, Zenobia Satano, Cheyenne Hoskins, and Mikhail Sykes. Our scholars are doing great things. As a district, we're planning for 3 major events. On March the 28th, we will host the Region 7 Missouri School Board Association meeting. It will be held at Central Middle School with school boards from the Region 7. Also, we're planning on a visit from the State Board of Education sometime in May or late April. We just have to finalize that time. And then we'll be in to tour the district, have an opportunity to meet with students, staff, administration, and community members. And lastly, on March 3rd, the North County Incorporated is hosting a State of Education in North County leadership luncheon. On the panel is Dr. Joe Davis, Superintendent for Ferguson Boston School District, Dr. Nettie Collins Clark, Superintendent for Hazelwood School District, Dr. Paula Knight, Superintendent for Greenwich School District, Dr. Tina Plummer, Assistant Superintendent for Fayetteville School District, Dr. Elizabeth Keenan, Superintendent for Special School District, and myself, Dr. Dorlin Freya, Acting Superintendent for Ridge Boyd School District. During that time, we will discuss the challenges facing education in North County as it relates to COVID, staffing, financing, stakeholder engagement. But we will also have the opportunity to celebrate the successes that are happening across our school district. That concludes my announcement. Do you have any questions?
We would then move to family engagement 2021-22.
Good afternoon, SAB members, colleagues, and our community. Tonight, Ms. Lakeisha Nelson, she is our family engagement specialist. She will present a report related to family engagement. As many of you may know, she came on last year as a goal of our school district to increase our family engagement, and she has done a great job of pulling our families in. So I'm going to let her kind of highlight some things that have been happening within family engagement. Ms. Nelson?
Good evening, SAB Board, Dr. Pruitt Adams, colleagues and community. I am Lakeisha Nelson, the Family Engagement Specialist, and tonight I'll present a report related to the activities to engage our family and communities within a Riverview Garden School District. My overarching goals is to create partnerships, to increase parent-school collaborations, and to create sustainable relationships with the family, communities, and schools, and to expose the families to community district resources and support systems. By doing so, I have created our PAC, which is our Parent Advisory Council Committee, which promotes and encourages parents and communities to participate in the schools. It provides a communication link between the schools and the communities, and it helps identify the concerns of student, parents, and community members and assist in developing solutions. Also, I have the Parent University, And within a parent university, it helps caregivers become full partners in the child's education, and it offers activities, workshops, classes, conferences, mentoring, and coaches to equip the parents for success. Just recently, we had a scholarship session last month, and joined by staff, student, and parents. And we had a second grader from Moline Elementary get on, and the second grader stated, "What can I do now to prepare myself for college?" And that was like a huge thing for us. So as you can see the graph here at the bottom, you can see that engagement has definitely increased. Listed below are the different sessions that were held, and then the number of participants on the side. And I just want to say, I also had a women's girls sessions with both middle schools, and I had a women of entrepreneur panels that came to speak to both middle schools, and the girls loved it. I put out a survey, they enjoyed it, and they're looking forward to more things put on. And I just want to say it's going to take us all working together. In closing, I like the quote by Henry Ford that says, "Coming together is the beginning, staying together is a process, and working together is success." Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions of Ms. Nelson? Dr. Beckwourth?
Yes, Ms. Nelson,
Yes.
you mentioned Parent University. Is that a district program or the one that we had contracted with Peggy, and I forget her last name? Is that our program, or we're doing it through her?
It's our program.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any additional questions? Thank you, Ms. Nelson. We will then now move to section 7, items for information, surplus ELA textbooks.
Good evening, Special Administrative Board, Dr. Pruitt-Adams, colleagues, and community. Tonight, I'm offering up for information the receipt of $19 for ELA textbooks, surplus textbooks at this time. Over the last couple of years, we have worked with brokerage services to pick up our ELA surplus textbooks, but due to COVID, they have reached a severe staff shortage, so they have not been able to pick up our surplus ELA textbooks. As a result, I've had to reach out to other vendors, one of which is Textbook Warehouse, who has offered us $19. The books that they would like to pay that amount for is listed in the proposal that's attached to tonight's agenda. Are there any questions?
Any questions? Thank you, Ms. Ross.
Thank you.
We will move to Prop R update.
Good evening, Special Administrative Board, Dr. Pruitt-Adams, colleagues, and community. Tonight, I will present the Prop R update for February 22nd, 2022. I will share my screen. Okay, the Prop R, and again, I will make this update a quick update because there have been no significant changes from our last Prop R presentation. And so much of this information you've already heard. Under completed projects, I believe the district has 29 projects that we've been approved for. And of those 29, 24 of the projects have been completed, okay? And these are just a sample of them here. We've done Highland rooftop units. We've done some floor abatement at Danforth, the high school band and choir room. We've done some abatement and renovations there, parking lot repairs, district-wide telephone lines, district wireless upgrade, facility docks upgrade, and we've done some high school
roofs on a few of the buildings. So these are just some of the completed projects. Again, facilities drainage, Westview emergency repairs. Again, none of this information is new or has changed since the last time we presented. But I want to focus a little more on the active projects. I believe we have currently 5 active projects going. One of them is the district-wide HVAC controls. You see this project is about 98% complete. At this point, all that's left is for facilities to go through the punch list to make sure all things have been done efficiently. And then from there, we will issue final payment. So a lot of these projects that you see that says 98% complete, the work has substantially been completed. We're just waiting on the final punch list to be done. One of the newest projects is our school-based healthcare center. This project has just started. It says scheduled completion in May, but we're thinking more so along the lines of when school starts as the time frame for when this particular project will be completed. In addition, we've got also the roof repairs at LeMaster's are in its final stage, again, 98% completed. And so right now we're just making sure the punch list gets checked, and then we will issue final payment there as well. Same thing with the roof repairs at Central Middle School, 98% complete, waiting on the final punch list to get those done. The other project is the district-wide security camera upgrades. We're a little more than halfway through with this project. And so we are just making sure that, weekly, I know security has been meeting the camera crews at the buildings so that they can get the installation throughout the district done. So that is a current a project that is more than 50% complete. Also, I believe you're familiar with these categories of, these are the things that when we issue Prop R, we said that we would focus on safety and security, the curbside and exterior technology, all of these things. The green shows what's been completed. The yellow shows what's upcoming. And then the completed and upcoming is more so in the yellow or the orange as it appears on my screen. So the last slide here talks about the summary to date. And I mentioned 29 projects the board has approved, 24 have been completed, 5 are ongoing. And again, we mentioned of those 5, we've got about 2 or 3 that we're waiting on the punch list to be done. We have been able to maintain the MBE goals to date of 34% and also the WBE goals of 8% to date. That concludes the report of Proposition R. Going forward, we will make sure that Prop R update is included in the weekly letter to the board, okay? And if there are any significant changes, we'll obviously bring that to the board at the meetings. But going forward, we'd like to include this information as an update to the board through the weekly communications letter. Are there any questions for me at this time?
Any questions? Dr.
Yes.
Beckwith?
Dr. Singleton, remind me what in addition is being done at the high school at the Student Health Center?
Dr. Patton, you want to speak to that real quick? What we're doing with this school-based health center? You're on
Sure,
mute.
I can speak to that. So the lower level, right across from the office, Dr. Beckwith and SAB members, we are revamping that entire area into a school-based health center. There will be a couple of examining rooms. There will be a waiting room. We are working with our contractors to ensure that there are vendors in, furniture in there as well. And CARE STL will be staffing that. This has been a long process, but we are finally breaking ground. I know Tracy Nave will be happy to hear that. You can see her face, she's not trusting us, but we are finally breaking ground. And so Dr. Beckwith, it will serve our students with sports physicals. If they're not feeling well, we will also support our students from a mental health standpoint. So we have plans for that. Eventually, the plan will be to open it up to the community and be able to support our community as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any additional questions? Thank you. We will now go to item C, Security Program Evaluation 2021-22.
Okay, I am going to try and share my screen, so hold on here one second. I was ready until Dr. Singleton put me on the spot, so give me 1 second.
Mhm.
Here, all right, let's see if I do this, there we go. Good evening, SAB members again, community and colleagues. I won't be, but actually our security director, Mr. Newton, will be presenting our security district evaluation.
Good evening, everyone. Special Administrative Board, Dr. Pruitt Adams, colleagues, community. My name is Warren Newton. I will be presenting the Safety and Security Program Evaluation. Changes to safety and security. We have created a standard operating procedure for safety and security, along with the emergency operating procedure district-wide. We have developed a security assignment and equalization of hours spreadsheet to keep better track of security hours. Security request form has been made. All principals have access to that when they need to request security. We have restructured personnel and schedules to be more fiscally aware. We have increased the number of DSOs from 16 to 24, not counting that we've been pretty much operating with 6 this entire school year. We now have that number up to 21. We have ended our relationship with Securitize, and with that, we have been able to increase our DSO numbers. Goals and objectives, to maintain fiscal responsibility, to maintain our relationship with first responders and adjoining school districts through meetings with their coordinators of safety and security. Increasing training for our district safety officers and upgrading the security camera system. Next. Tools and criteria for evaluation, reviewing of timesheets, reviewing of incidents by schools, using the department spreadsheets, reviewing restraint seclusion reports, the security request forms, and also the introduction of the standard operating procedures. Reviewing of the procedural handbook, reviewing of the visitor and parent code of conduct, also keeping abreast of state, local, and federal law, and also reviewing of no trespass orders against parents. And the success of the program is based on increasing safety and security's expertise and proficiency, decreasing major infractions involving DSOs and students, decreasing school incidents, decreasing referrals, decreasing the use of restraint by district safety officers, and decreasing the number of no trespass orders. And opportunities and next steps, continue to upgrade the security procedures, equipment and training, collaboration with leadership and accountability, and documenting incident reports and parent code of conduct. Also collaborating with communications in regards to the monthly newsletter, upcoming safety academy in Jefferson City per MSBA, and also MSET 6 guidelines. And also acquiring additional vehicles to perform patrols and respond to incidents in the district. Do you have any questions?
Are there any questions? Dr. Beckwith?
Yes. Mr. Newton, what do you consider your major challenge in safety and security?
Major challenges are process and procedures, probably. Knowing what I can do, what I can't do, things of that nature.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? Thank you for the report, Mr. Newton. Did someone else say something? I didn't want to.
I do want to add to that, Dr. Beckwith and SAB members, we are also well aware of the issues related to security, safety and security budget, and we are monitoring that much closely. So I would add that in, but I can tell you that we are doing a much better job.
Thank you.
And if I could add something in that note also, by us ending our relationship with the evening patrol of safety and security, Securitize, which we did a few school years ago. I want to say it was the 1920 school year, I'm not sure, but that saved us over $70,000 a year.
Great information to know. Thank you for that report. We will now move to item D, which is RGSD February 2022 COVID-19 protocols for scholars and staff.
That is also mine. Can you all hear me? I'm not,
Yes.
no, I'm not muted. Good afternoon again. So we are not going to change anything at this time related to our COVID protocols for students and staff. However, I do know that there is probably an order coming soon to go mask optional. But at this time, we will keep the same plan in order. And then in March, we will determine whether we need to maybe revise and change our plan. I do want the SAB and our community to know that we are planning at least 5 to 6 COVID vaccination clinics within our district. We have done several at the high school, at Gibson, and as well as at Gibson Elementary School, as well as at our early childhood center. But we are going to go into the neighborhoods. Ms. Marville, we're coming to your neighborhood. We're going to be looking at LeMasters and Coke and Meadows, Moline, and places that are in neighborhoods so that our parents can walk to those locations in the event they are having, they don't have transportation. So between now and the end of the school year, we will have at least 4 to 5 additional COVID vaccination events in our school district. Are there any questions?
Dr. Beckman, I see your hand up. Dr. Beckman, did you have a question?
No.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Are there any additional questions? Thank you for that report.
Thank you.
We will now move to items for discussion. Summer curriculum writing.
Good evening again, Special Administrative Board, Dr. Pruitt-Adams, colleagues, and community. I'm offering up tonight for discussion, summer curriculum writing. As we continue to pursue our full accreditation, our curriculum, we use the Understanding by Design curriculum framework, which comprises of 3 stages. Stage 1 is desired results, which houses our priority standards, enduring understandings, essential questions, to name a few. Stage 2 is where we look for the evidence of learning, which houses our performance-based assessments. In the future, we'll house our common formative assessments, which we're currently working on, and a portfolio, if you will, of other types of assessments. And then stage 3 are our learning experiences, which are a list of activities aligned to desired results and evidence of learning. This past summer, the related arts, our music, our health and PE courses wrote stage 1 of the curriculum. We did not have any writers for visual and performing arts. For visual arts. However, we are currently using professional development time in order to fill in the gap of what was not written for stage 1 for visual arts. This summer, we would like to continue this process by moving on to stages 2 and 3. We are in partnership with J. McTighe and Associates. The cost of the continued process for curriculum writing, it is budgeted. It will cost $26,800. It will come from the GOB Professional Development 1% budget. It is recommended that the Special Administrative Board approve curriculum development for related arts programs in the amount not to exceed $26,800. Are there any questions? Dr. Beckley, you look like you might be saying something. You're muted, are you?
Can you hear me now?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you.
No, I'm muted now.
I can hear you.
Okay. How will the curriculum writers be selected?
So just recently, we just sent out an e-blast looking for curriculum writers. So interested candidates right now are just expressing an interest. They are to email me that interest. In addition, we take recommendations from our building principals and department chair.
So how will they be selected? Based on what?
Right now, it's really based on an interest because we've always been short of writers. We do set a criteria which consists of the knowledge of the Missouri Learning Standards, development of understanding by design, alignment, and knowing how to create assessments aligned to the standards. So we have criteria. However, many times it comes down to the number of people who are interested because they are trained in actually to write.
My only comment there is interest does not equal competence.
Absolutely.
Okay. No questions.
Thank you. Moving on to the E-rate cable maintenance.
Good afternoon, Special Administrative Board, Dr. Pruitt Adams, colleagues. Tonight, we're going to first discuss E-rate cable maintenance. E-rate is a program that is administered by the Schools and Library Division of the Universal Service Administrative Company, which is under the direction of the FCC. The purpose of the program, which was founded in 1998, is to defer the cost of telecommunication services to schools and libraries. There are two priorities. One, Category 1, fiber WAN and internet services. Category 2, internal connections and basic maintenance. On January 2021, we posted the E-rate Form 470, which is the equivalent of RFP, seeking cable maintenance. The only company to apply for that position was TSI Technology Solutions. Even though they responded and received the agreement that we had them sign was not a multi-level agreement. Therefore, we had to repost another Form 470 in January of 2022. At that point, no company responded, and I reached out to TSI as E-rate allows, and they submitted a proposal to me. At this point, what we would like to do is recommend that we continue with TSI as a cable maintenance provider and recommend that they are selected at the March 8th meeting in the amount of $73,000, which will be renewable for 2 additional years. I attached the signed agreement from E-rate from last year, but as you can see, it's for a single year, and I am very conscious of E-rate rules and regulations. Are there any questions?
Dr. May, you have any questions? Thank you, Ms. Larry. We go to E-rate vendor updates.
Good evening again. At this point, before I am able to apply for the Form 471, which allows us to seek services from E-rate, we have to inform the board of any vendors that we'd like to continue with. In this case, we'd like to continue with TSI, as we just mentioned, once you approve them. We'd like to continue with ENA for the internet services in the amount of $36,900. And we'd like to continue with Charter Communications in the amount of $163,440. These are E-rate eligible services. E-rate will pay 90% or 85% of it, and the district will ultimately save money on them. Once the approval is received, we will file Form 471. As you may remember, in October, we received $1,000,000 $685,384.60 from E-rate. So it is a very beneficial entity for the district, and I would like to make sure that we continue with that. Nothing will be done until after the March 8th meeting and if the board approves it. Are there any questions?
Dr. Lynn. We will now move to RGS, the high school commissioning ceremony.
Good evening, Special Administrative Board, Dr. Pruitt-Adams, district leaders, colleagues, and community. This evening, I come before you to present as an item for discussion a facility use agreement with the University of Missouri St. Louis to host the 65th annual commencement ceremony for the class of 2022. The University of Missouri St. Louis has served as the host location for the high school commencement ceremonies for 9 years and has provided our graduates and families with a memorable and safe event for all. In monitoring the COVID-19 numbers in our area, it appears that we may finally be in a position to move back to an in-person ceremony for our graduates, understanding that there may need to be limitations. We will adhere to district and state regulations for gathering safely, and also it is our belief that they will provide a spacious and cost-effective venue to do so effectively. The cost for the facility use is $10,500, which is budgeted in the high school's general ledger account general operating budget as listed. As such, Riverview Gardens High School is recommending that the Special Administrative Board approve at the next board meeting the facility use agreement with University of Missouri St. Louis as the site for the 65th annual commencement ceremony for the class of 2022. Are there any questions?
Thank you. We will now move to E, which is temporary staffing and human resources department.
Good evening, Special Administrative Board, Dr. Pruitt-Adams, colleagues, and community. Tonight, I will be presenting the item for temporary staffing in the Human Resources Department. Currently, the Human Resources Department is experiencing a high number of employee vacancies. Also, with the COVID-19 pandemic, it has just made recruitment that much more difficult. Over the last couple of years, we have had an independent contractor, Angela Hester, come in and assist with human resources work. I have obtained 3 bids to assist with staffing. Right now, we have 116 vacancies. We have processed 169 terminations this school year alone, and we have hired 114 new employees. And that is a lot of work for one staffing coordinator. So the quotes that I have obtained, Angela Hester, $25 an hour, Adecco, $37.35 an hour, and K4 is $40 to $45 an hour. The recommendation is for this temporary person to come in and work with us through peak season, which is March through August. However, with this board item, we will not cross over fiscal year. So it would have to be from March 14th through June 30th. And then we will come back later. And I see where it says August 30th in the recommendation, but it should be June 30th. And we will come back later and we will make sure that we ask for the board to approve Ms. Hester to come in and work with us from July to August. So and also it's $20,000. We're able to use ESSER 3 funds that have already been approved to assist with staffing. It is recommended that Ms. Angela Hester be approved for use as an independent contractor to assist with the hiring process and human resources from March 14, 2020 through June 30th, 2020.
Any questions? Thank you, Ms. Deans. We will now move to item F, which is coming with the fund balance report.
All right. Good evening again, Special Administrative Board. Let me share my screen for fund balance report. Okay. The financial report for the month or the 6 months ending December 31st, 2021 are as follows. The second page of the summary of fund balance shows our beginning year fund balances in all five of our funds, year-to-date revenues, expenditures, and the ending fund balance in each. So you can see we started the year with a total of $19 million. So far to date, we have taken in, we've collected over $31 million in revenue. We've spent out about $29.5 million, which leaves us with an ending fund balance of about $21.5 million. Again, the negative amount that you see in the capital funds project will be taken care of at the end of the year, as the SAB has already approved a transfer to cover that negative deficit at the end of the year. And again, it exists because we do not budget for capital projects typically. That's unknown at the time of budgeting. If we're going to require items or purchase items that sometime will exceed that $1,000 threshold. So we develop it as we go along. But again, the SAB has agreed to a transfer to cover that negative deficit at the end of the fiscal year. The second page, or page number 2 as it's numbered, deals with the grant expenditures. And again, these are grant funds only. Most of them are federal, some are state, but you can see that the budgets and revised budgets are here. The encumbrances represents obligations that have not yet been paid. And then the actual expenditures in the far right before the last column shows the monies in each of the grant funds that have been expended. And the last column shows our available balances. On the next page, similar information, but this time we're looking at the revenues that we have received. So far, again, just starting the fiscal year, kind of in the July and August timeframe. Here we are in December. Our budgeted revenues are about $21 million. So far, we received about $4 million in receipts and still have about $17 million to collect. So got a long way to go in terms of getting those grant monies into the school district. This particular page here, or chart, shows the same 6-month time period, but it breaks out each of the funds. So the first page summarizes the funds, but this breaks it out and lets you know the monies that come into the general fund. So we see that between the general fund and the teachers fund, those are our biggest two sources of revenue. In fact, all monies that we receive generally through the foundation formula are appropriated to the teachers fund, and then the remaining monies are going to the general fund. We see debt service, and we see capital projects and food services as well. So those are the revenue, again, that's broken out by fund. Same thing on the next page, the expenditures, same 6-month period ending December the 31st. On the expenditure side, again, the general fund, the teachers fund, the debt service, capital projects, and food service, all of those funds generally show the expenditures that we have expended in each of those funds. So there's the $29 million. We've got $6 million in encumbrances, and we've still got about $43 million according to budget that we have remaining to spend. The last 2 pages show the same information just over year, okay? So at 6 months ending December 31st of last year and the previous 2 years, where were we, okay? And so you can see in terms of the general fund, we are outpacing where we have been in the last couple of years in terms of revenue. And I think a lot of that could be attributed to ESSER, but some of that is attributed to some of the Prop E, okay? As you can see, the local number is more here in the $9 million range. So the property tax increase shows that those funds are coming into the district. Again, teachers fund as well, debt service. Again, all of this information is really summarized on the first page there. but it just really breaks out year over year where we have been in the past. The last page talks about the expenditures for the same 6-month time frame. And so generally we're running neck and neck with where we've been over the last 3 fiscal years in all of the funds, the general fund and the teachers fund as well. Our debt service has been pretty consistent, as well as our expenses in the capital funds project as well. That concludes my summary of fund balance report. Again, keep in mind, this is for the 6-month period ending December 31st. Are there any questions for me at this time?
Thank you, Dr. Singleton. We'll now move to item 9, and I have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So move.
Second. Moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
We do have some items for action. A is the donation of $5,000 from Regional Business Council. May I have a motion for that? I need a motion.
So move.
Okay. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I make a comment, please?
I'm sorry,
Can I make a comment on the donation?
I can't hear you.
Could I make a comment on the
Yes.
donation? I just want to publicly thank the Regional Business Council. Had a talk with the Kathy Osborne from that agency just about where the district is heading, and really wanting to be able to get our scholars T-shirts when they have their spirit days. And so they graciously donated $5,000 toward the purchase of shirts for our scholars.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for that additional information. Item B is the adoption of the 2022-2023 district calendar. Dr. Baker, I believe that.
No, that's for motion first.
Okay, may I have a motion?
Move.
Have a second?
Second.
Question?
Yes, I just wanted to separate it so I could state my continuing concern about after 10 days for the winter break, the first day back will be a teacher work day that will make 11 straight days, work days that students will be out. And I just wanted a chance to have my vote regarded as a no for the calendar.
Thank you, Dr. Baker. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposer?
Nay.
Thank you. I will now go to I'm sorry. I could not hear how Dr. May voted. Dr. May?
Can you please let us know how you voted?
I'm
I
sorry,
think-
I did have a question I didn't know, but I'm in favor of it.
All right, thank you.
She's in favor, okay? Would that be the budget transaction report? Yeah. The budget transaction report? She just did it. The budget transaction report. It's the last item. It's the last item. You have a motion?
So move.
This is second. All in favor?
No, I do have a question.
Okay, Dr.
And the reason that I asked that this be separated, the focus of my question is what type of equipment was purchased for $1.0 million? And it doesn't have to be answered tonight, but I would like the board to know that we submitted to DESE a request for $1,065,570 for equipment we purchased. And I would just like to know what type of equipment, not serial item, but in the major categories, what type of equipment did we purchase? Since if we purchase stuff we shouldn't have purchased, we have to give this money back to the state. So we just ask that.
So Dr.
Yes.
Beckwith, thank you for that question. I do have an answer tonight.
Sure.
So that we did get this question earlier and I was able to do the research. So in the budget transaction report, what you will see is that these are ESSER accounts that we have created in order to engage in the purchase. So we've not purchased the equipment yet. So basically what Facilities has done is submitted their wish list for equipment that is going to be purchased. Now, all capital purchases have to be pre-approved by DESI, okay? So that's a whole separate approval. So to answer your question, the $1,065,000 in this instance is going to replace rooftop units on the gym and Building 7 at the high school. There's a total of 8 rooftop units, and the other amount will go to support the system upgrades or the controls at the high school as well. So I just want to assure you that we are tracking these capital purchases, but the district has yet to facilitate these purchases. We're setting up the budget now so that we can do the appropriate things, put out the RFPs, get the right bidding done so that we can move forward with the purchase. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, but this has already been approved by DESI?
Yes, and I will gladly forward to Shay, and she can send the board just a recap of our ESSER 3 application. And again, the capital purchases all have to be separately approved. So nothing on our list can be approved without DESI saying individually that these items can be purchased. But I will try to share with Shay after tomorrow sometime the capital improvement projects or the capital purchases that DESI has approved along with our ESSER 2 and 3 application.
And for me, that's not necessary. You've answered my question.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any additional questions on this subject? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
That being the end of business, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.